And we are live. This is not the first episode. This is not the introductory episode to the Stay the Course podcast, but it is, however, going to be an introduction as to what is happening here. Many of you guys know, or if you don't know, I have been trying to create a podcast now for at least 4 or 5 years. I attempted a couple before this. Well, the first one was a real attempt. The first one was called the Roar Podcast, but I was just kind of biting that topic off of one of the newest rappers that I had heard, and he had his album called The Roar. It was I think the guy's name was Dayton or something like that. But I thought it was cool. I was like, man, that's super cool that he's got this line that's a roar, and I was like, dude, if we can use that same kind of analogy or the same kind of theme to start a podcast, it'd be pretty damn cool. And it was. I had a good look, man. Honestly, he wasn't like my best friend, but damn, he's just such a good person. He was such a cool cat, and I wish that we would have had more time to like just kick it and figure out stuff and learn stuff, together on the podcast. But the homie Joshua, he generously gave me a bunch of his time to come to my house and do a trial episode and got everything set up on SoundCloud. And honestly, dude, I was super grateful. Honestly, it was also kind of stressful because it was like, hey man, let me go pick him up, let me come over, set up, blah 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 blah. It was just a lot of moving pieces to that, and the craziest thing is that he tried to tell me, man, hey, I'm gonna teach you it, man, so that you don't have to count on me, or you don't have to depend on me, or I can leave the stuff and you can use it. And I was like, nah, man, nah. If you're not gonna be here, if you're not gonna be a part of it, then this isn't gonna last. But in reality, I was like, dude, I hope he sticks. I hope we can stick through it. So, anyways, that first podcast was called The Roar, and we did like 3 or 4 episodes, and I got a lot of good feedback from that. And I just didn't know how to do this stuff on my own, or didn't have the money to do it on my own, and I don't have the money now to do it on my own either. But I'm definitely taking a bigger risk this time. So that was the first attempt, the Roar Podcast. I know some of you guys remember that, and if you were listeners to that, followers of that, thank you. If you were just following me because I was a part of this community, thank you anyways. I still consider myself a part of it, even though I'm not fully enveloped or fully, hey, let me turn this off. My alarm for my medication came on right now, for my anxiety. I haven't took it like in about, I don't know, like 3 weeks though, 3-4 weeks. I've been trying to cope and manage with the exercise. I've been trying to cope and manage with playing the guitar. I've been trying to manage it with lifting weights, swinging the kettlebell, swinging the mace, studying falconry. Whew, I can't wait to get into that with you guys. Anyways, so the first one was the Roar Podcast. That was with the homie Joshua. We had a couple good episodes that had some good feedback, and we ended up not being able to continue. And then when I went through my whole little life crisis, we'll call it, I ended up trying to come up with one called the Life Sentence Podcast. And the idea behind the Life Sentence was that I was trying to create a play on words, a life and then a sentence, like something that you were, dude, honestly, it doesn't even make sense to me. I was just trying to do something, but you got to understand me. I was trying to dig myself out of a dark hole so that I can find something that I enjoyed about life, because I had hit a point in my life where I cared about nothing. Nothing seemed to faze me. Nothing seemed to really matter to me. If you guys ever talk to my wife will tell you that I shared many thoughts about death to her, about suicidal thoughts, and just the fear of being alive, and the fear of just not being able to be the person, the man that I'm supposed to be, or that I could be, and just constantly feeling like a failure. It was something that was so dark, man, and I didn't even know. I didn't know what I was getting into, man. It was just. It was. It was a poor. It was a poor attempt. A poor attempt to find joyous in something. To be honest with you, I did one episode with the homie Eduardo Ibarra, and he's such a cool cat, man. Such a good person. I've had many episodes on the Roar podcast. I mean, we had one where it was just me and Josh doing a trial episode, which was super fun. And then we had one where Rudy and Edith came in for a while. And then we had one where Josh's sister Rose, and not only that, but Josh's other sister and brother. And forgive me because I forget the names, but those were fun episodes. And you know, they were about an hour long, maybe an hour and a half long, and it was such a good time. We had an episode with Martin and Adriana as well. And I'm just saying these names. If you guys know them, sweet. And if not, I mean, you know, I'm sure that, yeah, one of these days we'll figure something out about that. However, back to the Life Sentence podcast. It was cheap, a poor attempt at trying to create something good. And I just stopped. I deleted everything. I got off the grid for a while. I got off the grid from Facebook, from Instagram. I think the only thing I really kept active was my Twitter, because I'm a big mixed martial arts fan. So I love the UFC. I love watching I was gonna say Predator, Bellator. I watch a lot of One FC, Ryzen, whatever. Anything that has to do with mixed martial arts. I'm a huge fan of it. Boxing is one of those things where I'm like, don't really care about it. But I'll still watch it if it's something that's intriguing, you know? Like I watched the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight. That was pretty rad. But unless it's something that's major, I probably won't tune in for a boxing match. But I will watch a Muay Thai or kickboxing or whatever you want to call it. And for sure, I watch submission tournaments. I'm no expert in any of that stuff. I'm a fan. I enjoy doing that. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I do. And as you can tell, I just jumped from the Life Sentence to a bunch of other stuff. But that's perfectly fine. That's what I wanted. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be organic. I want it to just happen that way. However, going back to the Life Sentence, it was a poor attempt. And now I am here. Once I got off the grid, and I'm, if I have to be completely honest with you, the only reason that I am even doing this right now is because somehow I feel peace of mind. I feel a peace in my heart. I feel a peace in my spirit. I feel really good about life right now. I don't know what happened. I can't explain it to you. The only thing I can tell you is that I've stayed the course. I've been resilient. I still consider myself an outcast. And I consider myself an underdog. And if I could share a little something with you guys, I would love to. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Just give me a quick second here. And I want to show you guys or read to you the definition of outcast. And this is not my idea either. I bit this off of someone else, so whatever. Judge me if you want. But here it goes. So, resilient. I'm still here. That's part of, it's on the website if you guys are ever interested in checking it out. So outcast is a person. An outcast is someone who is rejected or cast out as from home or society or in some way excluded, looked down upon or ignored. In common English speech, an outcast may be anyone who does not fit in with the normal society, which can contribute to a sense of isolation. Me, right here. An underdog is a competitor, right here, thought to have a little chance of winning a fight or contest, right here. An underdog is a person or group in a competition, usually in sports and creative works, right here, who is popularly expected to lose, right here. The party team or individual expected to win is called the favorite or the top dog. In the case where an underdog wins, the outcome is an upset. So I am an outcast, isolated. I don't fit in with normal society or with a normal community. I figured that out. I like to be rampant and on my own. But I still like to be able to hold on to the common cause. And I feel that this podcast is going to allow me to not only maintain myself within the community, but to also be able to go beyond the community and hopefully it translate into hope, uplift, encouragement, pure positive stuff, for a lack of a better term. So bear with me, all right? This is not a religious podcast. This is not a podcast that is going to like send positive waves into the universe. This is hopefully going to be a podcast that will be able to just kind of speak life into somebody. And, you know, besides the fact that my core values and core beliefs are what they are. But the underdog, whenever they used to fight dog fights, definitely not for that or with that program, but whenever they used to fight dogs, usually the underdog, the dog that was underneath was the one that was going to lose because it had the other dog on top biting down on them. And that's the top dog, and then you have an underdog. The underdog was expected to lose. And I have been expected to lose, maybe not by you guys, but by myself. So ultimately, I think this is just like a message to myself. This is a way for me to continue to show myself that I can go beyond what I have been I can do beyond what I have been doing. So I'm hoping to create an upset here. So with the Stay the Course podcast, it's going to be long, it's going to be troublesome, it's going to be possibly 0 viewers, maybe 1, 2, maybe 2 million, I don't know, maybe 1 million, maybe 100,000, maybe 500. I don't know what's going to come of this. The only thing I know is that I had to stay the course. It's a war that I'm fighting inside of me, fighting my demons, trying to cancel out the noise of anxiety, of depression, the death, and the sizing up in society. Just constantly fighting with myself, man. But I also plan on staying the course for the podcast and for everything else that I'm involved in. A couple of the things that I've picked up since spiraling out of control has been I picked up a guitar. I suck at it, but it's relaxing. I can jam. Well, let me tell you this. If I'm not recording myself, I sound like a rock star. Once I start recording myself and I see other people's reactions to what I'm playing, then I realize that I suck, and that's all right. It's still fun. So the guitar is something that I will continue to put into practice. Birds, I went on this crazy bird trip, and you know what? Hold on. Actually, hold on. You guys follow me for a second, all right? I'm over here in my house. And by the way, I still got a janky home, but it's all right. I'm gonna hit the switch. Boom, suckers. All right, so let's see if we can get back to this. Hopefully, it's a little more light. A little more light. Good. So, the Life Sentence podcast. Life Sentence. Whack. But Stay the Course podcast seemed to be good. There's already a Stay the Course, so I used the Stay the Course SD podcast. Excuse me. But I still think I still love it. I love the significance. I love the meaning. I love the sound. I love that it defines me. And I'm ready to take this to the next level. So anyways, Stay the Course podcast. I'd like to read something that's on the website. By the way, the website is www.staythecoursesd.com. And part of the reason that this is possible is because of my family. My family means the world to me. They loved me when I was the most difficult to love. My wife supported me even though I felt like blowing my brains out. My kids, you guys want to hear a crazy story? I was so depressed one time that I probably slept for like 3 or 4 days. I called in sick to work. I told them I was sick. And my youngest son, while I was in bed sleeping, I would wake up, sleep. I would wake up, go to the bathroom, go back to bed. I would wake up, maybe grab a snack, go back to bed. That's all I did. All I did was sleep. Maybe 15 out of the 24 hours. I didn't really care. There was no joy. There was no life in me. But my youngest son came up to me one day and he goes, "Hey, Dad." He goes, "Dad, I got you something." It's like 9 in the morning. It must have been a Saturday or something like that. And he goes, I got you something." I opened my eyes and my youngest son has got a waffle in his hands, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, I brought you something to eat." He goes, "I know your brain is broken right now, but you need something to eat." And I go, "Holy cow. My son knows that I'm messed up in my head, and he's showing me that he wants to take care of me." That was a rough one, man. But it's those little things that really show you the truth of what's going on in your life. But my life belongs to those who loved me when I became the most difficult to love. Areli, Ezekiel, Caleb, I love you guys. I can honestly say that I would not be here or where I am without them. Oh crap, coronavirus. Anyways, coronavirus. So this is also a good thing for me. I have plenty of time. I have plenty. This whole thing is stupid. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this right now. Like, the more I think about it, the more retarded it sounds, and the more I just want to stop this. So I'm gonna make this one just a little. I'm gonna say a few more words, and that's it, because I just gotta I gotta figure something out. This is all brand new to me. I just want to talk. I just want to talk about stuff, but I'm rambling. I'm gonna try to work on setting up a parameter or something to keep me in focus. But at the same, when I'm doing this solo, when I'm doing the solo, I want to be able to go ahead and set up a format to where it's just like, boop, 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 this is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking to you about. And you want to go ahead and share your opinions, you can go ahead and set it on email. I think the website's open for comments, whatever, you know? But once I start having somebody else to conversate with, I think it'll change, because that's a little more, how do you say, interpersonal, because now you're dialoguing with somebody, and the conversations can flow. The ebb and flow of the conversation can go any which way. All right, but love my family, my wife Areli. I couldn't have done this without her. My boys and Ezekiel. I've been rough on you guys, but I love you guys, and I'm hoping that everything that we have gone through shows you how to become better, man, and be better than me at the very least. Another thing that I've picked up a few things. I picked up a guitar. I suck at it, but I want to continue to do it. I picked up messing with birds. I'm breeding parakeets, which is crazy. But they're cute. They're adorable. They're fluffy, and they're like feathered dinosaurs, which I love. The other thing I started to do it, and I just recently backed away, was because financially I can't do it, and the amount of time that you need to put into it, I don't have it, and that's jujitsu, or the Muay Thai classes, the jiu-jitsu classes, the boxing classes. I do want to get back into that, and I will get back into that, but I will definitely have to figure out the best way to manage my time in all this. One other thing that I am extremely nuts about right now is falconry. I don't even know if you guys understand this. Falconry. That means that in order to become a falconer, you have to be licensed by the California Fish and Game agency, whatever it's called. And what a falconer does is actually goes out into the wild and traps a raptor, a predatory bird, red-tailed hawk. The red-tailed hawk is the most common one that people trap to go ahead and start falconry for beginners, because they're a little bit tougher. But you can't just trap a juvenile. It's got to be past that first year. And there's a word for it, and I can't remember it right now, so I hate myself because I have been studying this, and I'm an idiot. But however, once it's past the first year, the first molting season, you know that bird is a viable bird, and that it will survive if you trap it, hunt with it, and then release it into the wild. That bird is going to be successful. Some people think that trapping a bird is cruel. Well, check it out. If a hawk or a raptor is out in the wild, its chances of living is maybe 3 to 7 years. However, if you trap one and you train it, you hunt with it, keep it well groomed, take veterinary visits and all that stuff, it can live a very abundant life, 13 to 20 years. Anyways, I'm on this falconry trip right now, and I'm looking to get my license, but once you get your license, or during the process of getting your license, you need to be an apprentice. And the apprenticeship, it has to be under either a general falconer, someone with 5 years, or a master falconer, 7 to 8 years. And I don't know anyone. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to keep everybody posted, whether it's the blog, whether it's the video, most likely the podcast. But falconry is the biggest one. Jiu-jitsu is another one. I plan on getting back into that, and once that gets started, I am going to see how far I can go. But I need time. I need time. The reason I didn't have the time before was because my sons were doing soccer. futsal, SKA futsal, indoor soccer, and then they were also doing AYSO outdoor soccer, but the season carried on into All-Stars, and All-Stars carried on into Spring Select, and then because of the coronavirus, everything came to a halt. But this is where we're at right now. This is where we're at. So, ladies and gentlemen, women and children, men of all ages, men, women, and children, children, women, and men, women, children, men, whatever. This is my introduction to the Stay the Course podcast. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm extremely excited of where this is going to go. So, as much blabbering that happened during these 25 minutes of the introduction to I want to call it the Life Sentence Podcast, but that's such a whack name now that I think about it. The introduction to the Stay the Course podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys tune in for the next one. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next, but for sure, I'm expecting to do one episode a week. I like to keep it between 30 minutes to an hour. Unless I have something going on with somebody, then if it goes longer, I don't care. I have a YouTube channel that this will be going on to. Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick. So the YouTube channel is Stay the Course Podcast. Stay the Course Podcast. You'll see some of my you'll see my profile pic on that. You can follow me on Instagram at Stay the Course SD. You can go to my website, which is www.staythecoursesd.com, and you can also follow me at Twitter, and the Twitter handle is, I'm assuming it's the same thing. I can't figure this out. At Stay the Course SD. So send me an email if you want to come join me so we can talk. I come to you, you come to me, whatever. We'll do it on Instagram Live. However you want to do this. Let's explore. Let's figure out what in the heck is going on with life and how we're getting through it, how we're going to stay the course, how we're going to press on, how we're going to continue to fight our battles so that we can continue to evolve into bigger, better, greater things. So with that being said, everybody follow me at Stay the Course SD at Twitter, Stay the Course SD on Instagram, Stay the Course SD at Facebook. I have a page on Facebook, Stay the Course SD podcast. And I think my profile one is like Walter Hernandez. So if you need a guidance, go through there. Boom. I hope I didn't bore you too much in the beginning. I felt like it started to pick up towards the end, but it's the first one. This is the introduction. All right. So follow me at Stay the Course Podcast. I'm out.